Okay, I will try to show you how to create different resources, test datasets in FHIR to test the FHIR reach or any FHIR interface. So the first thing you need to know is which profile are you going to use for the resources. So now I'm going to create datasets for the body weight profile. And the first thing I do is to extract from the profile all the required fields. That is based on here, on the cardinality of some attributes, then the cardinality of some slices. For instance, this code has 2 slices, and the first slice is mandatory and the second slice is optional. So you know that you will have this attribute in all the resources that you will use, but this one you can use or not. So we will need to create alternatives. So one with this, one with both. Also, we have alternatives for the types. The effective X is a required attribute, and we have 2 alternatives in terms of the data type that we can use here, and both are valid. So we need to create examples with datetime, and we need to create also with period. For the quantity, we will use the quantity, even though the quantity is optional. We will have examples with quantity, and the quantity has a strange thing, but if you know what you're doing, is easy to realize that the units is really not the unit that you need to use for mapping from FHIR resource. You need to use the code. That is the only coded field that we have for standard units. The unit is just a string representing the code, but the code is the real formal way of representing the units of a quantity. So we will have all under consideration of that, and from that what I do is I create this kind of summary of the resource. So here we have all the mandatory fields, the status, and some information about the status. So the status is a code. The code comes from this coding system, and the code that we will use is final for our examples. The category also should be this one, and this is all information that is contained in the profile. For the code, as I said, we have 2 alternatives, but it's not really alternative between them, because this one, the low ink one, is mandatory. So this should be on all the instances, the resources that we create from that profile. We have here alternatives for the types of the effective X, and then we have an example of data for the value X that we will use, and this will be value quantity. So what I do from here is we have in the let me check this here in the FHIR reach. We have some examples, but we have one example for each type of resource, for each profile. So this is the body weight. So what I will do is I will just from this one I will copy the JSON. So I will start with this as my template. So this is create body weight JSON, and I will create here body weight, new file, create body weight .json. So let's say this is my template. So I will start from here. So I will put this on a column here. I need to work in 2 monitors, but since I can't share both monitors, I will use just one monitor. And I need to go back to my summary. Yeah, so we can double check that this is valid first. So here we have body weight. We don't need the identifier, so we can remove that because the identifier is optional. We have here status, we have here category is correct in terms of the data that is in the profile. So that is the same. Then we have code, and we have here 2 codes, and those are the 2 alternatives that we have here, and we need to check those have the right. Here I need to fix my information because here I have a copy paste error. So I do this several times. I go back and forth and I fix my information. So here I have the previous example that I used before, body height, and since it is very similar to the body weight, I mistyped that. So body weight code and body weight code HiGHmed should be the right slices here. Body weight and body weight code. This is HiGHmed and Loink. These URLs are okay, but the codes are not good. So I need to go to each slice, go for the code, and this code should be this one. And we can check this code is correct in the example. So the example was correct, and my summary had an issue here. So this is my Confluence is a pain when editing. It's difficult to format. And this is the other code in HiGHmed. So this code in the example is correct in terms of this code. So I will just copy this one. I will update the code here. Also the format here. How can I change this format? Well, it's difficult to use this. I will keep the color. So let's do that. So good. Now we can check here that the information is correct, but we will use for the first example just Loink. So I will remove this, and we will use that later. So to do that, I will just create a copy first of this JSON, and I will keep the copy with the HiGHmed code, and I will remove it from here. Then we have subject is here, effective, and we have 2 options, daytime and period. So this will work with daytime. And then we have the again, this is body weight. I need to change the units. So this will be value quantity, the value units code. Here code should be body weight units. So what I do is I go to the terminology, and what can we have here? Body weight should be kilograms, grams, or pounds. So we will use kilograms. So we will use in the code kilograms. The value could be anything. So I will put 82 kilograms, and the unit could be kilograms, because as I said before, the unit is a text that represents the unit, but the code, really the code should be in the code field. So this is the code field, so that is correct, and the rest is correct because the system should be unitsofmeasure.org. So that is correct, units of measure. Good. So now we have, similar to the example, we have everything here, just change that for 82, and that's it, is the same as we have here. So that is my first example. So this will use Loink and daytime. So I will put that in the name. I will just put hyphen Loink hyphen daytime. and those are the names I will use for my combinations. On the other example we have here, I will just change this for 82. We have LOINC and SNOMED, because LOINC is mandatory, and we use daytime. So I will put this as SNOMED. I won't put LOINC because LOINC is mandatory, so it will be everywhere. So this adds SNOMED code, yeah, and daytime because the effective daytime is here. Good. So now what we need to do is to represent some cases with the alternatives. So that is a combination of having LOINC only, LOINC and SNOMED, and the effective daytime and the period. So we have already the daytime examples, and I will use now, I will copy, paste, and this instead of daytime will be period. And this also will be period. And the period, because I know this, needs to change. This name, period, and this should be an object. So this will be like this, and period has a start field. Yeah, that is a daytime. Then we can use this period. We copy and we put that here in the other example. There we create the combinations. But period could have start and start end. So start or end. So I will use one example with just start, and I will create another combination. So I will copy the period once, and this combination will have both start and end. So I will create, this will be period 2, I will say. Period 2 will have also an end. So I will end, and this will be another date. The value could be the same, doesn't matter. So I can copy that, and this one that I copied before, this will be period 2 for the SNOMED case. So I will put the end here, and those should be valid against this profile, all these 6 examples that I just created. Then that is the whole creation of examples for testing, because the profile mandatory fields are really a few. Next, what I do is I need to I have an issue here for the body weight, and it's 183. So I will use that issue number. I will do this git checkout develop. Here I'm in the FHIR reach. Git checkout. I will create a new branch, and this will be 183 weight data sets, because I need to add the files that I just created as examples on the test folder. So this will be, this is the number of the issue in the repository, 183. So that's that. Now I'm in the new branch. This is the folder where all the datasets are created. Yeah, I have created for body height, for some other resources. We have also examples, blood pressure. There we have examples with LOINC, SNOMED, and daytime. Yeah, more examples. And here I need to go to the body weight, and these are the examples I just created. So I need just to I click on enter. No, I need just to copy these files here, check those are the files that I just created. Good. Data sets for body weights, and this will be issue 183. Data sets for body weight. Good. And this will be 183. Perfect. Now I will create based on that. I will go to the FHIR repository, and I will create a pull request just with those files. And this will close issue number 183. And I will add as reviewer my colleague Peter. He's that one, and he will review that and use those for testing. Yeah, and that's it. That is how I create more examples for testing, so we have better coverage of the profiles that we support in the FHIR bridge. And you can use, if you are doing unit tests or integration tests in the FHIR bridge, you can use those new examples, and I will be adding more examples with time. Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. See you later. Bye bye.